So let's take a little break here at halftime, sort of a break, and let's talk about some theories of religious diversity. Let's look at this question of, with all these different religions in the world, um, how are we to understand these competing or apparently competing, depending on your perspective, claims of truth? Now, in our world today, there are some truths that typically most of us affirm. Um, it occurs to me that some of these seem to be shrinking in number. Uh, I was going to say everybody believes the world is round, but that's actually not true. There actually is a flat earth society made up of people who believe the world is flat. They have what they think is evidence that the world is flat. Now, my response to the flat earth folks is to say, you are wrong. You're just wrong. That is not true. But most of us would agree, for example, that there's this force called gravity. That if I pick something up and I hold it in the air and I let go of it, the force of gravity is going to make it fall. I think that's a truth pretty much every human being who thinks about it would agree on. Of course, climate change is something that we're all arguing about. Um, Politics is something we're all arguing about. But here's the thing, when we get into the realm of religion, so Hinduism says, for example, that there is this ultimate reality known as Brahman, and that the different deities are all different manifestations of Brahman. But Judaism, on the other hand, says that there is one God, only one God who says, you shall have no other gods in my presence, and you shall not make for yourself an idol, and you shall not bow down to anything made by hands. And so, these are truth claims that, kind of disagree with each other. What do we do with this? Now, this may be a question that troubles you deeply, because if you are a religious person and you subscribe to one of the religions that we have studied or are going to study, then you may have some concerns about how can, all these other people believe something that is, different from what I believe, and who's right and who's wrong. And so down through history, folks have approached to this question in different ways. What I'm about to do is show you, and it may be an oversimplification, but in general, there's kind of three different ways that folks have approached this question. And I'm going to share that with you for two reasons. One, this is a philosophy class, and the question of religious diversity is a philosophical question. It is a truth question. It is a question about how people think. And so it is worthy of philosophical reflection. Secondly, though, this is also for your benefit. This is for your peace of mind. This is to help you make a decision about what you believe. Please understand, I am not here to tell you what to believe. That would be inappropriate in a state-sponsored academic religious studies class. But I offer you these philosophical options, perhaps to help you decide what it is that you believe about religious diversity. I hope all that made sense. Let's go then to some theories of religious diversity. Now, again, I am perhaps oversimplifying. I am definitely generalizing, but in general, there's been over time three basic theories: exclusivism, inclusivism, and pluralism. Now, here you see the symbols of a bunch of different religions, some of which we have already looked at, others that we are going to look at, some that we're not going to look at this semester, and I'm sorry for that. I wish really this was a 2-semester course and we'd spend 1 semester on all the Eastern religions and another semester on all the Western religions, but it is what it is. Okay, the theories of religious diversity, exclusivism, inclusivism, pluralism, you can kind of put them on a spectrum. And all the way to the left of the spectrum would be pluralism. And at its most basic level, this is the idea that in some way, all religions are true. All roads lead to God. Hinduism is a very pluralistic religion. Hinduism doesn't have a problem with the idea that lots of people have devotion to different deities, but there's really only one ultimate reality called Brahman, and all these different roads and paths and dharmas and yogas and deities are simply different roads to or manifestations of the one ultimate reality. That would be pluralism. You may have heard the expression, God has many names. Now, I need to make an important distinction here. If you've been zoning out, please come back now and pay close attention, because I got to make this important distinction. In this course, I have used, and probably will use again, some materials from the Pluralism Project at Harvard University. These are very helpful materials. I need you to understand that in that context, in the context of this project by Harvard, pluralism is a sociological commitment. It is not a philosophical or theological commitment. It is not a statement about what's true or what's not true. It is a sociological commitment to respect all of the different beliefs that people have. If you look at their website, you will see that they're committed to energetic engagement of diversity. You'll see that they are actively seeking understanding of different religious traditions and beliefs. This is not relativism. Relativism being the idea that, you know what, who knows what's true, who cares what's true, it doesn't matter, it's just anything goes. It's not relativism. It's the encounter of commitments. In other words, I, as a Christian, am very committed to my beliefs. You, as a Buddhist or a Hindu or a Muslim, are very committed to your beliefs. I'm not trying to convert you to mine. You're not trying to convert me to yours. We are coming together and sharing our different commitments, seeking to understand one another. Remember something I said early in the course. This is a big deal. Understanding doesn't mean agreeing, okay? I can seek to understand where you are coming from. I can seek to have empathy and see the world through your eyes without necessarily abandoning my own viewpoint and adopting yours. And so this pluralism that the Harvard University Pluralism Project is talking about is based on dialogue, the different religious traditions, dialogue with each other. Now, hear me. That is a sociological commitment, and it is absolutely the commitment of this class. But it's not what I'm talking about right now, okay? Right now, I am talking about a theological, philosophical understanding of pluralism as the idea that in one way or another, all religions are true. I'm talking about pluralism as a hypothesis, pluralism as a belief. Again, I mentioned Hinduism, very pluralistic religion, and one of their famous sayings is, truth is one, sages, or the wise, call it by various names. There's just one truth, but it looks different to each one of us. All roads lead to God. God has many names. That's the idea of pluralism. Now, the person who has really defended pluralism in the 20th century at least, and into the 21st century, is a philosopher and theologian by the name of John Hick. John Hick put forth what is called the pluralist hypothesis. He says that there is one ultimate reality which he calls the real, and he makes the distinction between the noumena and the phenomena. This is an idea that comes from Immanuel Kant, or Kant. Phenomena is what you see and experience. Noumena is what something really is. So here's an example of the difference between noumena and phenomena. Something I really enjoy doing where I live. There's a certain hill I can go up on, and I can stand there on that hill and look out over Lake Junaluska, and I can watch the sunset. I can watch the sun as it comes down in the sky and it turns more and more red, and then it begins to go behind the mountains and the sky turns red as the sun fades away. Now, what I just described is the phenomena. That's not what's really happening. What's really happening is not that the sun is going down, but that the earth is turning, right? You know this from science class. The sun doesn't go down, the earth turns. That's the noumena. That's the real thing. But even knowing that, I experience it in the evening as the sun going down. That's the phenomena. So what John Hick says is that there's multiple phenomena of the real, and the different religions are different ways of understanding and experiencing the real. All religions, he says, are manifestations of the real. Now, I've posted an article by John Hick. I've posted a video with John Hick being interviewed. Please watch the video. If you're interested in this point of view, please read the article. Okay? Pluralism. All religions are true. All roads lead to God. Let me pause there and I'll come back and talk about exclusivism.